Okay, welcome back. Hey everybody, welcome to what I guess is part 5 of maybe 6 of this Cascades Empire Builder Capital Limited, not my photo, rename, whatchamacallit thing. Hope everybody had a good Boxing Day, aka an observed Christmas Day. If you decided to do something else on Sunday and observe Christmas today, for anybody who's been stuck due to canceled flights and whatever. I also been, like I said, I got all the stuff I need up today. I got diagrams of Amtrak's yard operations in Chicago, etc. So hopefully we won't get any weird curveballs today. But I think it'll go a little bit better. So today, again, these photos were taken from a friend who had been doing a cross-country trip with, I'm not sure who it was, maybe his current wife, maybe a past girlfriend. It was Capital Limited to the Empire Builder to Portland. Then we started with the part where he took the Cascades from Portland to Seattle. I think he does some stuff around Seattle. We'll see how far we get today. Yesterday we dropped off with Amtrak doing stuff at its Roosevelt Ave photos, and we're going to continue with those, and then hopefully get somewhere out to North Dakota. So let's see where we can go here. So anyway. Yeah, these are two. So it's I'll make the normal comments as issue. So this is from 2005. Here we have by the time the Metro's already received a large number of Nippon Sharo gallery cars, including a whole new fleet of cab cars, and they pretty much replaced, I think, due to either crash standards or whatever. They swapped out the Nippon cars, the Nippon gallery cars. On all their leading units. They still have the old gallery cabs are still cabs, but I think that they are deactivated so they don't have to do the 92-day inspections. So these are an 8500 series. And the BNSF yard is divided into two components. It's a pretty crazy operation. All the Metro yards are very interesting, and just how they're shoehorned into these sorts of places. Both here and the ones that you have out on the CNW Milwaukee 40th Street out by Western Ave. You have two basically full fans of yards. You have this first one where they'll come in. They have a second track that comes in the back. This is a whole there's like a double yard going on here, although the Metro train sets aren't quite as long, so they can sort of do that. The Amtrak facility is divided into three parts. There's the Taylor Street Yard, which is has both an old and new component, and then what they call the R Yard. And then there's also a storage yard and the diesel shop yard. Here we have some of the Amtrak R yards that they mainly solve the car house, and in front would be the T tracks. That's one of those today I learned things today. I never knew what those names were. I probably should have been using them more regularly. I've already checked this out. This is Amtrak F59 PHI Cascade service number 469. Not sure what that guy's doing there, but he's there. Plus a cut of horizons on. So what would that be? That would be the. Looks like the R1 track. R1. It looks like it. Where is that? Okay, there it is. And then here we see the R yard with the I'm not sure where the storage yard starts or begins. There's like several tracks in the storage. There's 4 storage yard tracks, S1 through 4. Then 2 Taylor yard tracks, the servicing shop, and then the remainder of the Taylor yard tracks. That's on those are the ones that are sort of on the back lot. And if you walk down you got to walk past all the shop complexes to see them. Roosevelt Ave is sort of located. I can't really highlight it. It's sort of in the middle here, if you see where the little cursor is going, like right where it says between BNSF2 and BNSF1. That's where the Roosevelt Yard overpass, I think, is. Or is it? Maybe it's over more. Oh, no, sorry. It's right over. Yeah, Roosevelt Road is right there. What are the name of those lead tracks? Oh, that's the one thing I can't read. Maybe my other Chicago diagram will tell me. Oh, it's the S lead. Okay, there we go. S lead and R lead. So there's the S lead. There's the R lead. Here we have one of the, again, fairly new Metra MP36-PH-3Ss. These did not have the extra, at the time, did not have the Cat Pony engine for HEP, so therefore they would take it right off the 3600 power supply, or prime mover, probably reducing the horsepower down to about 2,700 to about 3,200 horsepower. They've since all been retrofitted, so if you want to call them Dash 3Cs, you can. Metro is the only one who bought that Dash 3S, and they probably regretted it. So this is number 405. Oh, okay. Do you have a link on that? Then again, here we have this is probably. I mean, I suspect that motley crew of Cascades, Two Horizons, a diner, and an MHC. I'm wondering if that's not a Beech Grove run. I'm not sure if they would just run it special to Beech Grove or not, but that's the type of thing that you would see, like, time to get something down to Beech Grove. And again, here we have the Metra facility. What's interesting is that at least when I'm usually there, that Metra, what looked like a diesel servicing, seems to be there for servicing the cab cars now. I'm not sure if that is diesel, like if that still does diesel, but I've never seen that amount of diesel units at that shop since I've been around there recently. These are the engines that came off the cap. If you remember, number 10 at South Bend. The one behind it was number 141. In this case, plus the heritage baggage. Not sure what they're doing in terms of coming or going, but they probably got the set likely backed into one of the storage yards. These two engines are now going to go over to the diesel shop for fueling and servicing. Not sure why they're bringing the baggage with them. I could probably guess at the number on those heritage baggage. They were usually in the 15 or 1600 class, but I really don't know. And we have 10 and 141 without the heritage baggage. So today this is known as CP Roosevelt. It's sometime around let's say 2008, 2010. Amtrak I won't say they did a re-signaling, but they sort of did a reimagining of the Chicago Union Station terminal. What they did was they converted from what I'll say a Conrail NORAC. It went hand in hand with when they closed Lake Street Tower. So previously, although I have a diagram here that shows it. Everything in Chicago Union Station except for 21st Street was run as this was done in 2 bits. Or let me start again. Everything was being at a certain point. You had 2 towers. You had Lake Street on the north. You had Jackson Street on the south. Lake Street got re-signaled first. So up through Lake Street's closure, it got divided into Canal, Lake, Washington interlockings. And I guess that Jackson was also part of that. Although, wait, hold on. Jackson on the south side. So in theory that could be part of like Jackson's separate thing, but on the south side, I think it was all just known as CP, like Jackson interlocking with 5 locations, which encompassed everything south of Chicago Union Station. That's how it was set up. Locations 1 through 5. There used to be a Lumber Street tower, but when this was re-signaled in the mid 1990s, I think it all just Amtrak just sort of put it all under Jackson interlocking with 5 locations. That's what I'm saying. Otherwise, I don't have a name for what that was. And this diagram is from that period in time, I think around 2010. At some point, the same thing that happened on the north with Canal, Lake, Washington, Madison interlockings happened on the south with Jackson, Taylor, Roosevelt, Lumber, and then 21st Street, which was always there. Now, I don't know the exact timelines of when all of this happened, or how but by the time I have this Chicago terminal timetable, it was already fully divided. So this diagram sort of comes at the same time as the Chicago terminal diagram, but it could have been just at about the same time. So I'm not entirely sure of how to label these. Today it's unambiguous. They've got signs up. What's CP Taylor? What's CP Roosevelt? What's CP Harrison? Jackson. It's all very unambiguous today. What it was, how you do it back in 2005, I'm not entirely sure. Fortunately, I don't have that many. I wasn't really in a position to be there and get a ton of photos, so this problem doesn't usually come up. I have a couple photos from this area, but it wasn't enough to really be a problem. I only really had the zoom capability to get out there and do stuff. Anyway, I'm rambling on here. So what do I want to do? So the other thing is that they went from that I'll just call a Conrail PRR NORAC speed signaling system, and they did a pretty slick job of converting it to a Chicago G-Core. They went from also from Amtrak rules to the General Code rules, which is west of Mississippi, Union Pacific, etc. So I think Amtrak most of their people were running off of those rules anyway, so they just wanted to it was probably just easier for training and whatnot to give Amtrak crews running into Chicago the supplement, whereas it could be less training for those Western guys to have to learn a NORAC for the last mile. Again, I'm not entirely sure it was NORAC, but either way, they had to do the NORAC style signals. So you can see that Amtrak went. The reason I said it was slick, they went to, again, it used to be slow, clear, slow. It was a lot of they even have those. They even have a couple of the little. This is about when they switched from the color position lights to the searchlight LED searchlights. I'm trying to think of what. So, like, for example, since almost everything they had was like slow speed stuff. Note that they have no, they're able to seamlessly go from yellow over yellow being approached slow to yellow over yellow being approached diverging, because that's pretty much the only thing they ever had to worry about was slow speed moves. So you never really had anything that wasn't a slow clear. Sorry, this is just whatever. They had to do a bunch of stuff like this can't be restricting anymore. But I have a 90s signal chart, and they did switch from a PRR type thing to a west of Mississippi type setup. Hold on. All right, where am I? So I just actually did these photos. Oh, wait. One second. I just did this of figuring out which signals those were on Roosevelt Ave. Because I was out there this past. I've been out there pretty much every time I go out to Chicago. I go down to Roosevelt now. Where is it? I know I had that exact same photo. Oh my gosh, those are way rustier too. I'm pretty sure it is this exact same photo. If not, it's one over. So let's take a look. Now this is lining up. Looks like this is exactly. Wow, look at the difference in rust on the signals there. So by the way, these are USNS style TR target signals. Everybody knows there was a time when people would call them G heads. Because they were GRS type G, the central, like, that thing where you have three triangulars in the middle and then a circle. I call them target signals. That's just, I try to be unambiguous. Union Switch and Signal, of course, responded. Eventually they have ones that's similar with the single monoblock housing. I think that they're called like style NR. Safe Train makes their own that no one ever buys. No, people still buy it. NJT, I think, buys them. But USNS's original competition in this market for these target signals, Seaboard Air bought a lot. Rock Island bought a lot. I think Mopac might have bought some. Reading definitely bought some. They had this they didn't have a single housing. They had three little like cups, like two light cups and like a bigger light cup, and they'd put this plate. This is just a nightmare to seal. You got to gasket all of that. I don't know why they did this. I'm pretty sure that these are called style TRs. They did have other ones like a style TS or like a style TP. I think the new ones are NRs. Again, you go look at the catalog. I could have a bunch of off by one errors on this, but as far as I'm aware, Union Switch and this project here, the 1992 to 1994 Chicago closure of Jackson Street Tower, I think was the last project that ever bought style TR color lights new. So anyway, just interesting to see between that and my recent photos here of just how much has changed here. I'm almost positive that's the same. That's the same pair of signals. I mean, they could be. I mean, they all look the same, but just the way the lined up. So anyway, this is the today. It's CP Roosevelt's 1SA and 2SA signals. I'm going to go with what I have in my chart and just say it's part of CP Jackson, location number 2. So it's 1SA and 2SA. But it's not even CP, it's Jackson. Because it was controlled from a panel in Lake Street. Well, hold on one second. Let me just double check a thing here. I don't even think I have to do... I mean, in theory, all the signals are 16.4. Sorry, I'm just double checking things here. Five N, 4N. Do I have another 5N, 4N? Yeah, these are one interlocking. Look. No, wait, no, there's another 5N, 4N. So I think that they're unique by location. Yep, there's another 5S, there's another 5N, 4N. Okay, so you can have duplicates. So it looks like this is going to be Jackson, Amtrak COS Jackson, location 3. This is not going to probably come up much in the future, but... See, this says CP Roosevelt, though. But in 2005, it clearly didn't exist. Huh. Yeah, maybe I should just keep it the same. You know, I've already labeled them as a CUS interlocking, so I'll get what I mean. I'm gonna do it with the older style. So the question is, what do I call? See, today I can just call that like CP Taylor, but I'll just be. I guess it's Jackson location 2. See, what's interesting, the Taylor Street Bridge isn't there anymore. So there was a brief period of time when you had the Taylor Street Bridge was there, so they had to build the signal gantries around it. And then they demolished the Taylor Street Bridge. Okay. And then you have this stretch of tracks, specifically track 4, 3, 2, and 2, with no interlocking appliances between them and the next signal. But I guess it gives you, it's good to have some signals there, but they could be automatic. I suspect so. Yeah, this is actually, though, by 2005 they had eliminated a large number of the old color position lights. Chicago went through a weird thing around 1992, both here and at Lake Street. Although Lake Street had its those dwarf semaphores with using B&O CPLs, and they bought them new, I think from US&S. You can see a few. Those right there still exist. For whatever, because they give those extra, do they want to make them a stack or whatever. Those don't exist today, but they're there in 2005. But then again, you can see the LED ones right there. So again, at this point in 2005, I don't know if that's displaying approach diverging or if that's displaying approach slow. I don't know when that change took over. Maybe someone knows in the chat. I'll check the chat in just a second, but. I'll come by, check the chat here. What do we got? Blah, 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 blah. So what Metra is doing is that they need to do they do a lot of weird stuff with servicing. I'm not sure what I think it's mainly because of they have a lot of weird old terminals, especially at CNW. The train set will come in, they will pull the power, they'll fuel it. I was watching this the other day. I wanted to get a photo of the CNW Heritage engine on Metra. We walked up to the front of the train and they pulled the engine off and they were fueling it like at the end of the interlocking. I'll show you exactly where I'm talking about. I got to go back to Chicago here. But Metra has a lot of stuff with, they do keep train sets together, but at the same point, the way the contract services operate, I think that Union Pacific et al., they want to do all the maintenance on the day shift. So that's when you get light engine moves. When an engine needs to be 92-day inspected or serviced, they'll leave a train set in the shop, in the station tracks and go run. So first off, there's an engine service facility at Lake Street, but it's so bizarre. I mean, it's from another age. It's not like, oh, what's Metra doing? Like Metra is doing, well, Union Pacific is doing via contract with Metra exactly what the CNW did in the days of steam, where they, the train set will pull in and they pull off the engine. They have an engine storage facility right here, and they're going to get serviced and they come out. The other weird thing that I saw is where do they serve them? Yeah, engine refueling area 1 and engine refueling area number 2. They pull them out here for refueling. It's so weird. But again, they can do it pretty quick. My train pulled in. I walked to the end of the platform. The engine was gone. And by the time I walked out of here, I said goodbye to my friend and got back up to Lake Street, the engine was back on like nothing had happened. It was fully coupled, and I felt stupid not for waiting for it. So maybe it took 20 minutes, but they got that thing fueled pretty quick. Next comment. 30th Street's all under pen interlocking. It's all pen all the time. From 30th Street actually has its own CTEC seat. CTEC 5 is just pen. It might include Girard and Mantua, I forget. But it's effectively pen. In fact, that interlocking would actually occasionally have multiple people working it. When they closed Penn Tower. By the way, Penn Tower, from everything I've heard, was there for some Penn Tower was on the 4th Street of 30th Street Station. CTEC's on the 8th floor. Sorry, did I say 4th Street? 4th floor. It was what I'll say is a CT. It's a Style C unit lever machine. And from what I heard, it was there. They closed it in the 90s, and it had multiple people working it, at least 2. And they basically moved those 2 guys upstairs, and they just put them in front of a video display. And for a while, that pen machine was still there and would occasionally be used. You can remote control unit lever machines. That's anything relay you can control from a CTC style. Wait, what? So, in terms of labeling stuff, if I'm doing historic things, I'm gonna have the part of it is like if I'm a lot of my photos, especially back to 2002, would have been labeled with the current names, and if the names change, I can't go back and redo that stuff. So I try to keep the names consistent for the years in which they were there. So something under a tower, if an interlocking gets renamed after a tower is done, then I switch to the new name once it's clear that that's no longer there, unless the tower it's something specifically relating to the tower. So I can go if there's a tower, if there's something relating to the old interlocking that's left next to a new one, like a signal base or a tower base or part of a tower or a signal that's been knocked down or whatever. I'll actually apply the old label, so it's applicable to the time in which it was. Otherwise, you have to use a lot of weird modifiers. Okay, back to the thing. This is an interesting thing. We have most of the Metra equipment is 4-digit numbers, but a number of the BNSF cars. This looks like this might be an active. This looks like a cab car, but I don't know if it was in service. It might have still been in service as a cab car in 2005. This is a Bud original from the CBQ. I know that Metra is unfortunately buying new equipment to replace a lot of these older ones, but they have a lot of really old stuff. Let's see, that one's number 804, so I can go down to, what am I looking at? No, I don't want to go to Electric District. I just want to go to Metra. Come on. If you go down to the roster, so 804, okay, that's not that old. That's 1973, but they have a variety of Bud equipment, the 700 series coaches, and then 5 cab cars. Although some of them it looks like a bunch have been sold. Those are from like as early as 1950. They were rebuilt at a certain location. So let's say it looks like probably the oldest ones were sold to MI Train, but I'm not sure what happened to ever those. If that's even going anywhere. Still proposed. Metro Bud Gallery cars. Units currently owned by leasing. Painted stock. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with this train. It's a proposed Michigan commuter rail thing. Not been any updates on the project since 20. Might be canceled or still. Yeah. Anyway, in theory, Metra could be operating stuff as old as the 1950s, which is pretty amazing. This specific one would have been purchased by Burlington Northern, so not CBQ. Okay, next. Grabbed a photo from the other side here. Here we have 469. Trundling, it's been decoupled and it's now moving around. It's nice when you get people's photos, even though I'm not there. It's cool because even though these are film, it's very limited the number of photos that he took. You still get a little sense of the story. Like this guy, maybe he just came from Beech Grove on this cut of Horizon's Diner in an MHC, which I think were still being used at this time. They were just about to get pulled. Then the 469 gets cut off here, and he's moving. He's going somewhere. Maybe he's going to get put on an Empire builder or somehow make his way to the West Coast. I don't know, but it's all these just little bits and pieces. Oh. It's tough to figure. You don't know for sure, but it's still interesting to think about. All right, now we've left Chicago and we are in Milwaukee. So I've only done the Empire Builder going eastbound once, and it was very late. So by the time we got to Milwaukee, it was pretty dark. But in this case, so what are the engines are? It's 67 in front, and the second one's going to be 52. Got to figure out how to make sure I'm spelling Milwaukee right. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Ah, come on. $52. Oh, okay. He already had it right there. Didn't have to go look. I haven't had a lot of. I'm not sure what they've done with the Milwaukee station. With this sort of like it's like a train. I'll say train shed in the derogatory term. It's a shed with trains under it. Let's see if I can get that number. I can't. Maybe it's a 1300 series baggage car. Oops. And while we're waiting here, let me just go to the get out of Chicago, go up to Milwaukee. It's not that far between the two. It's only like 110 miles. It's kind of like a Harrisburg line level of distance. Milwaukee Intermodal Station. Oh, wow, they built it under the post office. They love doing that. That was optimistic. I know this was probably built in the 60s or 70s. But it's sort of like that whole when you would still build a train station next to the post office, and then that sort of went out the window in 2003. It looks like they've done some platform work, and you've got a good solid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tracks. It does appear to be interlocked on both ends and all tracks, except those what were probably mail tracks. There's some weird signal stuff going on at this at the Milwaukee station. They're like it's like all restricted speed. The signals look like traffic lights. I'm assuming that it got rejuvenated, but I want to dive in and check. Yep, there's your NCTC. Yep, it's all it's all restricted speed. Wonderful. I can see the lunar white on that. What I want to do is go back in time to see if that changed at all. No. Huh, I wonder if they ever caught a displayed signal. Yes, there's one. Nice. The Google Street View car actually got a displayed signal into Milwaukee. 2007? Nope. 17, I mean. Is that the only time? I think that's the only time they caught displayed signal. Alright. I'm not sure. Well, I guess all the interlocking's got to be. It's got to go from 2 tracks to 5, so I'm guessing it's all sort of in there. Can I get another look at any of this anywhere? Oh, I can get a look on this street. Oh wow, they got a lot of private cars living up in Milwaukee. I bet that's a low rent district, and or maybe that's actually part. Is that attached to a train? I can't tell. What I want to do is I want to go down here and see what's up with the signaling situation. Can I see that? I see something down there. From what I recall, there are at one end of the platform you can see a bunch of signaling related stuff. Okay, here we go. But it appears that it's all just restricted speed. Yep, there's your NCTC. So it's restricted speed coming in and going out. Oh, and ABS. Ooh. That's 2021, too. I gotta go look up how that's ABS. Hey, more. Oh, yeah, look. I was right. I was totally right. So they have like an outer signal, and they have the traffic. They're the traffic lights. I knew it. Oh, maybe they're USNS modulars, but they look exactly like a that's totally a traffic light. Those are highway grade traffic lights. Wow. I don't know if they run freight through here, but I suspect they must. I'm sorry, I'm going a little bit of a tangent. It's just sort of interesting. Let me just do a quick check on my Wikimapia. I love Wikimapia because you can get this really nice railroad highlighted view. And it looks like that there's an actual freight bypass. So they don't have to run freight through the passenger station, which would make sense. And they rejoin right around here. Don't think I'm going to get any special stuff there, but I guess I just want to see if I can look down on that. This is all CP owned. They bought the Sioux line, which I think after Milwaukee's bankruptcy bought up the Milwaukee Road assets that are most valuable. That would have been between Chicago and Fargo. I think Fargo, North Dakota. Minneapolis, St. Paul, not Fargo. All right, sorry about that. Just filling an interest. Don't know what track that is at all. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, I do have this pulled up. Well, not really, but kind of. CP Northeast. It's Sioux line. It's under Sioux. There it is. Sioux timetable. This will hopefully have the track numbers for. Come on. Which sub do I need? I need section 30 or section 27. Page 65. All right, CNM sub. Do I get a diagram of the station? Guess I don't. That's what I really hate about a lot of Western timetables. They don't give you, like, what track is what. Sometimes they do, though. Milwaukee, no CN set, no nothings, no... How many main tracks? Oh, I can't... it'll tell me which one is which, in terms of... I think they do tell me which... what's governed where. Right, here, I can look at my new diagrams. Because I have those. And I'll just... Because that's clearly on the northeasternmost track. And it looks like it's a through track, so I'll just go and cheat sheet it. Here we go. What do I have? That's going to be track 1. That clear signal is track 2. So that's going to be track 1 at Milwaukee. I should just sort of picked one of these. No, I have no idea where this. Oh, it's Minot. I think that's. What if that's a museum engine? So we're cutting again to North Dakota. This is the part of the builder that. If you go eastbound, I always recommend you go eastbound on the western routes, but you are gonna miss a few things. In this case, you miss you can't get Minot in the in night. Hold on, where is this? Wow, you gotta really go up there. Whew, boy, that's north. So the question is that a display engine or a real one? If that's a real one, I can't figure out. It looks like it's a SD50. Yeah, I think that was real. Where would this be? Oh, I bet it's on that track there. Yep, I think. Hold on. Yeah, there are those dumpsters. Are those dumpsters there? Those might be the same damn dumpsters. I can't tell what that really is. Oh, there's that building. Okay, yeah. So that train is on this track. I love this amateur geo. They do this stuff in the Ukraine. People do this all the time with way less information than I have. But it's really surprising that those damn dumpsters are the same color. Those red dumpsters are there in the same effective place as they were 15 years ago. So I need to find a Sioux line roster. It looks like a Sioux SD50. Oh, Sioux Line had our diesel shop. Here we go. It's almost... Come on. You gotta have an SD50. Oh, maybe it's a... Oh, it's probably a 60 then. I guess they didn't have SD50s. Alright. Would have been a regular... They had a lot of SD60s. Or, I thought they did. So it looks like it's a 6000 series SD60 up to 6062. I think they were pretty famous for their SD60s. Yeah, that's all of them. Get out of this Metra page. I'm just going to do the Minot stuff, and then that'll probably be it for tonight. But I know that this mentions how many they bought. Yeah, Suline bought 58 SD60s, and that is almost certainly what that is. Because you can tell the SD50s and 60s had a way bigger radiator than the SD40s. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, you can see one right there behind it. They got that turbocharger hump. I think that's a blower motor or a turbocharger or something like that. Probably some of the last power they bought. I wonder what happened. I know they got absorbed into CP, but I don't know when they lost their corporate identity. So it looked like 1990, oh, the 2000s is when they stopped painting that stuff. Okay. Yeah, it looks like SD60Ms were the most advanced thing they ever had. All right, sorry about that. So, $60XX in Minot. Minot, the biggest industry there is nuclear missiles right now. Oh, and that's blurry or soft, so. Here we have 67 at the Minot station getting serviced. Looks like it's getting fueled. Or it's got a fuel hose there. $52 and 67. You have 67 plus the same damn fuel hose. Why are they having to fuel it from the other side? There's like one tank. Oops. By the way, I think that this red stripe might have gone away at some point. There was like a intermediate phase 4 that looks distinct that was just very early, but I forget what the difference is in it. Huh, that's interesting. So let's take a quick check here. Cut that off. Yeah, they've definitely paved more of the lot. If you go back to 2005, that's just sort of gravel. But they've definitely paved more of it. But the lighting solution is still there. I'm sure this is still a late night smoke stop, thus the lighting solution. That's a Sioux Line track there at North Dakota. So let's see. And here we have the famous, I don't know if it's famous or not, Sioux Tower. If you go to my the North American Interlocking Towers site, I think actually has a picture of that. Where is that? Here you go. You go to other states. North Dakota. It's basically the only tower. I think it was probably the only tower in the state of North Dakota. There we go. Probably. I'm sure it's a GRS facility. 1975. Oh, no, it's Armstrong. Very interesting. So if I go here, so the question becomes, where can I get a view on that interlocking? Oh, I can get one right there. In 2021. All right, good enough. Do I got more dates here? 2012. Yes, they still have the old signaling in 2012. And it's gone in 2019. I do remember a bunch of that searchlight signaling still being around as the builder entered North Dakota. But I guess that got wiped out. Let's see if I can see it from this other side here. This will give me more dates. 2015. Whoa. What happened? Wait, what? Why is there a neighborhood there? What on earth happened? Between 2019 and 2015, like a neighborhood got wiped out. That's really weird. Whoa. I gotta read up on this, whatever's going on there. So it went from, like, in 2007 we had housing to abandoned housing to less abandoned housing to nothing. Oh, well, okay. In general, when I have a diamond crossing, especially that used to be a tower, I won't put a railroad in front of it because it is both, arguably both. I also don't know what the track numbers are. I'm going to have to go back to my Montana photos to look that up. Railroads are at least pretty consistent of how they number their tracks, even if you don't necessarily, even if between railroads is inconsistent. But if I go back to my Montana photos from 2011, they have legitimate two-track in it's going to find something that identifies a track. Come on. Okay. Oh, don't forget about that. These are pointing to bad things. Track 2 is going to be the one to the north. So that's going to be a track 1 signal displaying clear there. So here we have... Sorry, it's going to be the westbound track 1 GN mast clear, and the also westbound Sioux. Okay, that got it all. And same photo here, just minus the fuel truck. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Today, I know they do fueling at Havre now, Havre, Montana, on the eastbound train. That's not the fuel hose, the fuel truck. And that's where we are right now. So I believe this is now Montana. Yeah, this is Havre, Montana. All right, we're gonna cut this here. Well, let me see how much more I can do. I really don't want to do Shelby. All right, let's get through. Let me just do these couple of Havre, Montana photos. Anybody have any comments or questions? Let's check. Yeah. Everything restricted speed in the depot is going to be different than slow speed. It just means that there are issues with everything being restricted. In the fog, around the curve. It's lazy. The PR is to do kind of stuff like that, where every time you got to something, and it does affect. It does. It's one of those things that also adds a surprising amount of time. It's going to add minutes. It's going to add something between 2 to 5 minutes of just getting in that damn station. Whereas, in theory, that should be good for about 20, 30, 40, 30, 40 miles an hour. Hyathua service train. And that's a lot of restricted speed, too, down in Milwaukee. That's a lot of it. Here, I can show you between where that... just leaving the station, you're going to be, let's just say where that Empire builder was pulled up. He's going to be going at restricted speed for, good, what is that, about a third of a mile? After when you're just gonna trundle out of there, whereas normally you could just accelerate up to that's this track is tangent. You could just accelerate up to 40 miles an hour. It's something that it just was lazily done. That should be interlocked. It should be fully signaled. A Hyathua train should be able to just pull right on in there. This is what they did at Harrisburg. Harrisburg was a slow speed interlocking. And now anything coming into Harrisburg can just roll right in. That makes a surprising amount of difference. A lot of those capacity people will hammer on that, and I'm not going to disagree. But the traffic lights are quite interesting. All right, let me just get these Havre one done, and we can head out. I'll get out of here. I have a funny Havre story, but I'll tell it to you in a second. Come on. I know I have that signal. Oh, there's that signal. That's the BNSF Milk River Sub 430 signal right there. So, right on the platform. Same one? Is it? Yep, that's it. And he pulled right up to that so he doesn't get the delayed in block. So... what track is that? Yeah, I guess that's track 1. Yeah. Oops. So when I was on the Empire Builder, this was before they really cut back on the services. They to this day they still do. They have these route posters of the train, of all the lines, Empire, anything they have these posters, and you can't buy them. Like, they'll sell you like $125 signed print, but you can't just buy the stupid $5 poster. So a lot of the times, my friend, we'd get on a train and yada yada yada. My friend would get one, but on our specific train 7, there were no Empire Builder posters on the train. So we got to have, my friend noticed one in the station, and yada yada yada. We have an Empire Builder poster. There's the Havre station that may or may not continue to have an Empire Builder poster. Let me get out there and just take a quick check of what number that Great Northern locomotive is. Maybe if I go to the Havre station, it'll just tell me. There it is. Great Northern Railway. Oop, no, I clicked on steam locomotive. There we go. Great Northern 502584, and it is a Northern. I don't know why. I hope Great Northern's not getting credit for inventing the concept of a Northern. All right, GN 2584. And now we're in Shelby, and I think that's where I'm going to deal with it right now. So we're at about 250 of 308. I'm going to go through a bunch of, and probably delete a bunch of these photos that I don't need to really do. And then we'll get on from there tomorrow. Hopefully finish this thing up. If not tomorrow, then, yeah, I'm going to finish it up tomorrow. I might be available for a stream on Wednesday, but I don't think I'm going to do it. Well, anyway, thank you very much. I accomplished everything I needed to do today. Hope today was a little bit more entertaining than yesterday. At least I came up with a few stories. Let's see if we have any questions. Oh, no, we have some sort of weird doohickey in the chat. Can I get rid of these people? Where's spam? I mean, whatever, it burns an account for somebody, but, with a lot of the AI these days, reporting is more important than ever. Anyway, let's see what we got. Traffic lights, places where they use traffic lights. Short answer, I'm sure there are. I know I've seen them. Long answer, I can't tell you any off the top of my head. Typically traffic lights, it's one of those things where the value in them is due to testing, especially since traffic lights tend to have reflectors in them, which you can't have for railway signaling, because you get all sorts of phantom aspects. I assume that those signals just had the inside spray painted black. It's also probably because it's restricted speed territory. That might, they might not be real signals. They might be just like switch position indicators or something. They might have a regulatory distinction without a difference. Denver is, so Denver's complicated because RTD uses a go no go cab signal system. So trains will get cab speed, stop, or they'll get a flashing red restricting. Because Amtrak isn't cab signal equipped, they don't want to deal with it. They come in on the center 2 tracks, all their movements are at restricted speed. So all they do is get a flashing red restricting. Freight trains just use the Keystone Corridor. Define freight train. Keystone Corridor sees a number of local freights. It sees a daily local freight out to Coatesville, which actually then leaves the Keystone Quarter at a hand throw switch. The other ones work out of Dillersville Yard in Lancaster. There's a lot of industry, a surprising amount on that line. It's a lot of feed things, lumber mills. There's a bunch of things on it, and they run a freight. They work overnight. There's usually one or two locals that'll work out of Lancaster. The biggest thing is the Coatesville. It's an H symbol NS freight, and that runs out of down the Dale Secondary, gets on at Glen, and then will run on track number 4 to a hand throw switch near Coatesville. I have a photo of it, and then it will back onto the what used to be the not Reading and Northern, the Wilmington and Northern line, and then it'll serve the steel mill there. But that's when I say an H series freight. I don't know. I'm bad on symbols, but NS has this intermediate type of freight train with an H symbol. It's like H24 or something, and those are like a regional one. It's like when Enola runs from Enola to Lancaster, that runs as an H train. Yeah. The transloading facility that Strasburg's running gets a lot of cars. That one goes down. That one comes out of Lancaster. There used to be a freight that would work the Green Giant plant in Parksburg, but now that's Victory Brewing bought it. They could probably still get the freight service if they wanted. You're making me have to go over there. So there's the Coatesville steel plant. It used to be Beth. Now it's Alcalor Metal. There's a bunch of steel facilities in that. I've actually been up to there to get a photo of that hand throw switch because it was right near a signal. But the Green Giant plant was interesting because it used to run on the middle track. They'd switch over to track 2 at Thorn, and then depending on how you set traffic on it was a bidirectional track, and if you set it in one direction, it would trigger the signal at Parksburg, which was an automatic. So if you set the direction west, the westbound signal at Park would go to clear, and the eastbound signal would go to restricting. Then we'd set the traffic back. The westbound wouldn't go to clear. It would go to restricting. I think I don't know what the other one would go to. Probably stop. But if you set the traffic the other direction, the eastbound would go to clear, and the westbound would go to stop or stay at restricting. I don't know. Anyway, there's the freight track. It's that center track there that is on what used to be the ANS branch. See, it's still there. It looks like the weeds someone's keeping the weeds out. So this building gets service. Whoever that is, they can get freight service. I don't know if they do. And then the other one, this used to be Green Giant, and now it's Quad Graphics at Printing Works. They could also get freight service. Don't know if they do. Looks like whatever that building is, it's expanding. Where was the hell was Green Giant? There's the old Green Giant plant. So they don't seem to have their track looks like it's not doing so well. But Green Giant was the one that would have a lot of it was like the last one to have the cars. But the tracks there are definitely kept up to date, and they look a little shiny. So maybe some of those buildings are getting active freight deliveries. But it's a shame that Victory Brewing is not getting any of its cans or glass or anything else by rail. Victory does make a lot of good products, though. I think I had their holiday beer this year. It was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I'm going to try to see if there's any left at the Wegmans liquor store near me. All right, anyway, tomorrow is my Septimid winter trip. Hope you guys all come out. Oh, sorry. If you live nearby, come on out for that. I can't believe I keep doing these, but it'll be fun. Hopefully the Route 66 trackless trolley will be not bustituted. So, given that, Memories, I mean, I have photos. If you go on my photos site, I'll throw the link in the chat. I have photos of their Strasbourg when 611 was there. I've got photos of, I'm going to leave that the way it is. I'm going to go back in time on this one. I'm just going to throw you a quick link in the chat because you asked nicely. I was there when 611 was there in 2019. And I got photos of their current transloading facility before they move it to Lehman Place. It's a shame that they're going to move the transload because they bring freight down the little tourist branch, but it's definitely going to have more capacity. Maybe they'll use both. I don't know, but you'll see the photos of the transload operation. There you go. Anyway, I gotta go. Have a great night, everyone. I'll let you know how. Hopefully, we can finish up this crazy enterprise of labeling and reminiscing about the Empire Builder tomorrow. So, everybody, have a great night. Stay safe, and don't need these Chicago photos anymore. Stay safe, and have a happy New Year.